Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Stomp This Way.
Yeah.
How you doing today, Andrew?
I'm doing all right. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
Are you ready to conclude our trilogy? Our Sinbad trilogy?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're concluding it today with Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, unrelated to the Survivor song.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, could you imagine just starting to jam out Sinbad and his crew jamming out to Eye of the Tiger? But I think that was before that song came out. But anyway, but did you know there was a different working title? It was originally called Sinbad at World's End.
At the world's end.
At the World's End, whatever.
That's like the Pirates of the Caribbean title. At world's end.
At World's End. I actually think, we'll talk about it. That would have probably been a better title.
Yeah.
More apt title than there is a saber-toothed tiger, I guess, at the end of the movie, but anyway. You want some production trivia?
Yeah.
Well, this was greenlit after the box office success of The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. So they started working on it. I think they greenlit it while Golden Voyage was still in theaters. Originally, they planned to move away from the mythical creatures and towards prehistoric animals, which they kind of, I think, split the difference in the end. But Schneer, the producer, hired Sam Wanamaker as the director because he wanted an actor's director. Well, we'll see about that. Did you know that this was Peter Mayhew's uncredited screen debut as the Minotaur, the Golden Minotaur? In some distant shots when he's a guy in a suit. It's Peter Mayhew. You know who Peter Mayhew is? He's Chewbacca. Yeah. God. Anyway, did you know that the star of this movie, Patrick Wayne, is John Wayne's son?
Wow.
We'll talk about it, but John Wayne, he is not. And Schneer agreed. He openly criticized in later interviews and stuff Patrick Wayne's performance, calling him only adequate. Yeah. But Schneer has not liked either of the Sinbad actors in the sequels.
No.
He keeps opining for that original guy. But anyway, this was filmed from June to October of 1975. The live action scenes were filmed in Spain, Malta, and Jordan. Did you know that the power source of the Shrine of Arimaspi, that golden light column thing, was made of dental floss? And they put it around like a central pedal spinny thing and put a bunch of strands of dental floss and put some light on it and spun it around real fast or something. Creative. Some scrapped creatures include a two-horned rhino-like Arsenotherium, a Yeti, I guess when they were going to be in the Arctic, and a woolly mammoth, also while they were in the Arctic. They stuck with a giant walrus. Harryhausen worked on the stop motion for this movie from October of 1975 all the way through March of 1977. So he worked on this movie for a long time. The troglodyte figure would be reused for the Calibus character in Clash of the Titans. And the nude scene, in quotes, was Schneer trying to keep up with the times. He's like, all these movies have nudity now. We need some. Now, I don't think you ever saw a nipple in this movie. I could be wrong.
I think he did.
Did you in one scene?
Remember in the scene when they had the hot spring water?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
water?
I mean, I thought they tried to hide him, but maybe there was a flash. Anyway, some strategic placing of hair. But,
I'm
anyway,
pretty sure you saw them.
little scantily clad women a lot in this movie. But Andrew,
Yeah.
you want to read off some box office information?
Sure. Well, it was released May 25th, 1977. Budget of 3 to 3.5 million,
Yeah, not bad.
and made a total of $20 million at the box office.
Not bad.
And it was released alongside Star Wars. And you know, when you release alongside Star Wars back in the day, we suffered a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Star Wars made like 300 some odd million in its initial run. So, yeah, obviously it was up against some stiff competition. But even then, I mean, if those again Wikipedia numbers, I don't know how accurate they are, but
they made their money back.
They made a profit on it. So you know, who can complain? Who can complain? But anyway, I've got the trailer pulled up, so we're gonna listen to that, and then when we come back, we're gonna list off the cast and crew, the plot summary, and we're gonna talk all about Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger.
These eyes peer out through time, through space, to a land beyond imagination. These are the eyes of the tiger. Follow their gaze back to where legends first began, where fantasy is real and the land of the lost is rediscovered. Journey across the oceans of antiquity to the northern edge of the ancient world. As Sinbad battles with both human
From the depths of the earth, I command you, arise!
and supernatural evil.
Destroy them! Kill Sinbad! Bewitched him! Let me get the smile from her face!
Filmed in the miracle of Dinorama. Starring Patrick Wayne, Taryn Power, Jane Seymour. From producers Charles H. Schneer and Ray Harryhausen. Come face to face with the prehistoric Trog. See the sorceress bring life to the all-powerful Minotaur.
Eat with the power as only I command you.
See Sinbad battle the saber-toothed tiger, guardian of the secret shrine. Join Sinbad, the greatest of all adventurers, in his biggest adventure of all. Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger.
All right, listeners. We're back. What do you think about that trailer, Andrew? Was it a fair representation of the film?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this was directed by Sam Wademacher, written by Beverly Cross, music by Roy Budd, effects by Ray Harryhausen, and starring Patrick Wayne, Taryn Power, Margaret Whiting, Jane Seymour, and Patrick Troughton. And the plot is as follows. When Sinbad arrives at the kingdom of Cherrick, he discovers that Prince Qasim, who was to be crowned as the next caliph, has been turned into a baboon by his evil sorceress stepmother, Zenobia. Zenobia is intent on her son Rafi becoming the ruler of Cherrick. In order to restore Qasim to his former self, Sinbad embarks on a voyage, along with Qasim's sister Farah, to find the legendary wise man Melanthius. In pursuit is Zenobia and Rafi, along with a bronze minotaur which Zenobia has brought to life. Sinbad and his crew arrive on the island of Kaskar and find Melanthius and his daughter Dion. Dion? How did they say it? Dion? Dion? Oh. However, Melanthius states he is unable to restore Qasim, and they must sail to the land of Hyperborea, where the ancient civilization of the Arimaspi once existed. Stick with me with these names. With Melanthius and Dion now on board, the ship sets sail for Hyperborea. On the voyage, Zenobia transforms into a seagull and sneaks on Sinbad's ship. She is captured and interrogated by Melanthius, but she is able to telepathically retrieve the map to Hyperborea from his mind before escaping. Sinbad's crew soon reaches the icy waters of the Arctic. Once the ice becomes too thick, they go on foot. After battling a giant walrus, they reach a warm valley where they encounter a Neanderthal-like troglodyte. They are able to communicate with it and convince it to lead them to the temple of the Arimaspi. Zenobia and Rafi also arrive at the valley, and Zenobia uses a potion to open the ancient pyramid shrine. The Minotaur is killed, moving a block of stone. Sinbad's crew soon follows, with Melanthius warning that they must hurry as Zenobia has destabilized the pyramid. Once inside, Kasim attacks Sinbad's crew but is killed. As Zenobia weeps, Sinbad raises Kasim into the light of the shrine, which restores the prince to human form. Zenobia possesses the guardian of the shrine, a saber-toothed tiger, and attacks. The troglodyte attempts to fight her off but is killed. Sinbad is eventually able to spear and kill her. Sinbad and his crew flee as the warm valley turns icy cold. Back in Chirac, Kasim is crowned caliph. Sinbad and Farah kiss, but the eyes of Zenobia appear on screen as credits roll. Ooh. More or less the plot.
That's more or less the plot of the
More or less
movie.
the plot of the movie. Yeah. So, we're going into this movie. I think we kind of had mixed feelings on that last entry. I'm really not expecting much from this third entry. And you even commented before we sat down to watch it. It's an hour 53 minutes. Oh my God. That last one felt long. This is even longer. But I will say immediately the pacing is better than that second movie. Like, it's pretty much basically like the first one. That first one, within 7 minutes, that Cyclops was chasing somebody around.
Yeah.
This movie, same thing. Within 7 minutes, we have the, I don't know what they were. I'm sure there's some name for them in Greek mythology, but the little skeleton alien looking things popping out of the fireplace. Because Sinbad is they've returned to this place of Chirac where Sinbad, who goes through women like nobody's business, apparently.
Yeah.
He is, they're dropping off their booty, I guess. And he's also planning to ask for the hand in marriage of this, what was her name? Farah?
Yeah.
Chick, who is the sister of the soon-to-be caliph of the country, city, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But bad things have happened. And actually, the movie opens. You see like this ceremony where they're going to crown him, but then there's a sketchy-looking woman, and the like fireplace like erupts, and the sister screams, and we don't see what happens, but and it cuts away. But anyway, so they're told that there's a plague going through the city and that there's a curfew. They can't go in after dark, so they are taken to this tent. It's Rafi, the son of the evil woman Zenobia. He's pretending to be a merchant or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I don't think I put him in the cast list, Kurt Christian, who played Harun or whatever his name was in that last movie. The young cabin boy, like the guy that they picked up who was lazy, who was kind of the comedic relief. Now he's the bad guy, or one of the bad guys in this movie. And of course, they like try to ambush Sinbad's crew. And of course, Sinbad is better than all of them and wins. But I do like Zenobia. She's like, you don't see her face yet. She's just like this woman cloaked all in black, kind of like like the figure of death, just kind of wandering around in this opening sequence. But no, I like this. And I think, like I said, it gets off to a stronger start than that second movie. And I think another issue I had with that second movie was the lack of motivation I felt for Sinbad to be so invested in that journey. Well, here, much like that first movie, they're going to give Sinbad a reason to be invested in this journey because his new girlfriend is, they're going to try to save her brother. But Farah comes and tells Sinbad, like, oh, terrible things are happening. My evil stepmother is trying to undercut my brother and crown her son the caliph, and they have 7 full moon cycles to fix Kasim.
Yeah.
before the stepmother's son will be crowned as caliph and all this and that. And we learn there's a baboon brought, when Sinbad agrees to go on this voyage, he's like, even though he runs into sorcerers all the time, he's like, I don't know if I've ever seen that, but there might be this one person, Melantheus, who's like a legendary.
He runs into evil sorcerers.
I guess. He's like a legendary wise man kind of guy, I guess. And he's like, he agrees to embark on this journey to try to help the brother. But there's a baboon brought on board, and me and you were like, is that her pet baboon and everything? But we see it playing chess later, and we're like, what? But we'll learn that Kasim is the baboon. Ooh. He was turned into a baboon by his evil sorceress stepmother. And, as more time passes, he becomes more animal-like and less likely to turn back into human. That's kind of the ticking clock of the movie. It gives the movie a bit of a ticking clock, which is, aside from the 7-month thing, which I think is a good thing. But yeah, he's going to bring Farah on board, and they're going to go off on this journey. And that's kind of the first act, and I think, off to a solid start. Then the second act, we're going to go and meet Melantheus. They go to this island. A lot of beautiful scenery. We'll talk about the green screen later. But they first meet his daughter. I can't remember how they pronounce her name. I'm going to call her Dion. And first they get rocks thrown at him by the natives. Yeah. But then Dion comes out and she's like, are you here to meet my father or whatever? And she's a telepath and she can communicate with her father telepathically, which is only matters in this one scene and never comes back. Seems like something you'd want to come back into the final act of the movie, but that's okay. So anyway, and Melantheus, again, I really like him. He's kind of an eccentric old man. Yeah. And, he's like, well, he's kind of more of he's not so much a sorcerer as he's kind of an alchemist.
Alchemist, yeah.
Yeah, and he, does alchemy and all that kind of stuff, like, the teachings of Archimedes. And he's like, I don't know how to change him back. He's like, well, but you can go to this mythical land of, what do they call it? Hyperborea. Yeah. Where this ancient civilization lived. And they might have something that can change him back. And he's like, but at first he's like, I'm not going to go on the voyage though. Yeah. And then Sinbad is like, I don't remember. How does Sinbad convince him? I don't remember, but Sinbad eventually convinces him that, to go on the voyage. And his daughter's going to go along too. Yeah. Now, I will say, I really like the supporting cast of this movie. I think everybody's doing a good job, from the actress playing Zenobia. The actor playing Melantheus is very charismatic and fun. Kurt Christian as Rafi is not bad. The two female stars are fine. They're here to be pretty and scantily clad, and they perform that function, I guess. Oh yeah. But everyone in the movie is doing like some kind of accent or affected accent, and they're all very, like I said, they're charismatic. They're playing these roles pretty well. But then you have Patrick Wayne. And from the opening scene, he is just flat. Like his line delivery. Not that I want him to do an accent, but I want him to have some charisma. And his line deliveries are so flat. And I agree with Schneer. He's just all around pretty terrible in this movie. And so it's a good thing that they have a strong supporting cast, because he is just
not supporting.
He's a wet blanket. He's not supporting. He's not propping up this movie. But I think
he might be the main character, but he ain't a main character.
He doesn't have that leading man energy. He's probably the worst of the Sinbads, I think. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the guy last time, but I think he was Oscar worthy compared to Patrick Wayne here. Patrick is pretty bad. Yeah. He is not John Wayne. John Wayne, whatever you think of John Wayne as a person, John Wayne had screen presence. Yeah. And when John Wayne walked on screen, you knew that was John effing Wayne. Patrick Wayne, he's kind of like Scott Eastwood, a really famous, very screen presence heavy father. kind of a wet blanket as as an actor. Now,
Yeah.
I think Scott Eastwood is probably a better actor than Patrick Wayne here, but you know,
Yeah.
just a little bit of a comparison there. But anyway, so they go to they're gonna go to Hyperborea, and they're gonna go sail to the North Pole, basically, and get into the Arctic Circle. And you know, we get a bit of change of scenery. We get some icebergs, some what I can only imagine is stock footage of some glaciers collapsing. I
Yeah.
think they went out and filmed a lot. I mean, I know they went out and filmed a lot of this on location for, like, you know, the Melanthius Castle or whatever was on location, and they went and did a lot of exterior shots of real castles. And but the iceberg stuff, I'm pretty sure is stock footage.
Oh yeah.
Or the floating icebergs are just fake. But anyway, for some unknown reason, a giant walrus attacks them. I
It's
guess
just there.
it's just there,
Hmm.
and they're in his territory. I guess a couple of their guys get killed, and then they find this like paradise, like this oasis valley where it's like nice and warm, and the chicks get naked and bathe in the stream, and
Yeah.
you know, as they do. But then they run into the troglodyte, which is a Neanderthal, basically. He's got like a horn, but he looks like a caveman, and he's got his club.
Yeah.
And the women run from him at first, but then the baboon Kasim just goes up and just like starts talking to him, ape to ape, you know.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, he's friendly, and they convince him to, like, Melanthius like draws in the sand and is able to somehow convey that he wants him to lead him to the
The door.
door to the legendary temple or whatever. This would have been a good spot. I thought that Dion was going to use her telepathy to communicate with him, but I never got the sense that really happened. But
With who?
the Neanderthal.
Well, he can't understand human speech.
Well, that's why he used telepathy. He used thought pictures.
I don't
But,
think that's how that telepathy works.
okay, but anyway,
I don't think you can send pictures into somebody's mind.
well, it depends on the movie you're watching.
And they don't even know. They don't even know the picture
They don't even know what it looks like. I guess you're right. Well, he knows what something looks like. He knows like what
from
the
a drawing.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't think you can.
we skipped over the whole scene where when they were on the sea after they had left Melanthius's castle and they're going to Hyperborea and Zenobia. So Zenobia, one of my favorite characters, underappreciated characters in this whole movie, is the Minotaur, which is a golden minotaur. She brings to life this giant golden statue of this bronze statue, I'm sorry, of this minotaur. And her son get on their little rowboat, and they make this poor minotaur row like the job of 6 oarsmen the whole time. At one point, they like run out, like the guardsmen for the castle, they like run over their canoe, and the minotaur like spears one of them. But this minotaur, he's just like a total slave. But Zenobia at one point uses the potion that she used on Kasim to transform into a seagull, and she goes on to Sinbad's ship to try to get the map or something. I don't really know what she was doing, but of course Kasim notices her, and after he apes around for a little while, the humans finally see her, and she gets got, and Kasim and Melanthius puts her in like this jar. And it's like, everybody leave. I'm going to interrogate her.
Yeah.
And so then he's trying to get it out of her. But then like a total idiot, Melanthius like gets out a bumblebee or a honeybee or something. It's like, let me test your growth serum on this bee here and just see what happens. And of course the bee immediately turns into a giant bee and chases him around. And while in the chaos, she gets out. And she uses her telepathy to like get the map out of Melanthius. And then she escapes, but she doesn't have enough. When she gets back to her ship, she doesn't have enough serum to train all the way back. So for the rest of the movie, she's stuck with this bird webbed foot on one leg, like limping around. It's just all kind of funny. And at one point too, like they broke the oars on their ship because the poor Minotaur, he doesn't know, he's just rowing away. Runs into a rock and breaks the oars, and I guess he doesn't know how to fix an oar, so she's yelling at her son, "This is gonna take hours, get to work." And so her son's over there like trying to fix the oar while they're talking to Melanthius or whatever Sinbad is. But anyway,
Mhm.
so anyway, they're in this valley. Zenobia, they go through so they had to go on foot. Sinbad did because his ship was too big to fit through the ice tunnel. But Zenobia and her son, their ship is small enough. They go through the ice tunnel, and they actually get to the pyramid first. And they're like, "We got to open this thing up." So she tries to use a potion on it, and it cracks it a little bit. And then the poor Minotaur, who's just he's just been falling around this whole time. And she's like, "You got to open it." So he pulls the cinder block out and just falls backwards and gets crushed.
Yeah.
I'm like, that poor guy. He worked really hard for that. Anyway. But then Melanthius is like, "Oh God, she's destabilized the pyramid. We gotta go." And he has this key. They made a big deal out of this key, and totally useless. And he's like, "This is useless," and literally just throws it away.
This is useless now.
And it's like normal screenwriting 101. That key would come back to be important later, but doesn't matter. So then, they get into the pyramid, and there's the column of light and the frozen guardian of the temple or whatever, which is just a saber-tooth tiger.
Yeah.
And then Zenobia and Rafi are there. And I don't know what Zenobia thought was going to happen. She just tells her son to charge Sinbad's group, which is 4 grown adults and a and a Neanderthal. And of course he just immediately gets stabbed and killed.
No, he doesn't get stabbed. He falls down the stairs.
Or he gets knocked down the stairs.
And breaks his neck.
And breaks his neck. Yeah, you're right. And I don't know what she thought was going to happen there. But and then she's sad and crying over her dead son, even though it's totally her fault. I almost kind of feel bad for Rafi. I'm like, I think most of this was his mother's idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if he really cared to be Caliph or not. But so they go and they put Kasim in the thing and raise him up to the thing, and he gets turned back into human. And then Zenobia possesses the guardian of the thing and becomes a saber-tooth tiger.
Yeah.
And she kills the Neanderthal before Sinbad finally decides to help. And then Sinbad is able to get the Minotaur's golden spear or whatever. Because earlier the Neanderthal had thrown his club away and picked up the spear. He's got an upgrade. His bronze spear. Sinbad picks it up and spears her and kills her after one of his friends gets killed and another one maimed. But then they leave. The temple is falling down because Zenobia messed it up, and the Paradise Valley is turning icy cold. And but they get back to their ship, and they get Kasim back to Shipwreck on time, and he gets crowned the thing, and now he's got a girlfriend in Dion, and I guess Sinbad's gonna marry this chick Farah or whatever. And then they do the credits are rolling over the movie, and at the very end they do the classic final gotcha thing where because Zenobia, when she'd use her powers, would get these reptile eyes or whatever. And then her reptile eyes appear on screen.
Ooh.
Ooh, is it over? Well, it was over. This was the last Sinbad movie. But anyway.
For now.
For now. Never say never. But yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, I was very trepidatious just like you were, because that last movie felt at 105 minutes. It felt really long. This one's 113 minutes. But I actually think this movie's paced better. I enjoy, and I think a lot of that, one is because there is more action early on.
It's a lot of action.
But also, because I just enjoy the characters, the supporting characters.
And there's actually, a plot and, a thing they're fighting to get to.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's more motivated. Zenobia wants her son to be Caliph. And then I like their little side quest with Zenobia and Rafi and their golden and the Minotaur and their little trip. And then, of course, you have Sinbad's crew, and you got, Sinbad's a wet blanket, but you got Melanthius, who is kind of an eccentric old man, and he's fun. And then the two women, and then the baboon is a lot of fun. And, they're always talking about the baboon and he's getting more animal like, but then they still let him out of his cage. But
Yeah, and I love one from Menendez was like, we must lock him in his cage for now for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
The next scene he's out on the cage on deck.
Yeah, the next thing he has on his deck, they're trying to play chess and he gets frustrated and like knocks the pieces off. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, well, he didn't stay in his cage for very long. And just some these fun Harryhausen sequences with like the transform, the shape shifting and the Minotaur, doing its stuff, and of course the final fight sequence and the Neanderthal like teaming up with them. That was kind of funny, and I just thought it was a fun adventure movie, which is what you really want from this kind of fun fantasy 70s era adventure movie.
Yeah.
And I think it hit those marks. Now there is issues, like it is a little too long. They probably could cut some stuff out. Like I said, I think Patrick Wayne is the weakest of all three Sinbads. I think the only Sinbad that I really liked that I thought contributed to the movie that he's named after, that's named after him, was that first guy. I thought he was pretty good as Sinbad. Then we'll get into the effects and stuff. Probably the worst looking movie overall.
I think because they tried to do more effects in it.
They did a lot more green screen, but
I think that's when green screen was really
it was
taking
really
off.
coming into vogue. Yeah. So not perfect by any stretch, but a solid movie. I thought
A solid movie.
Yeah. You can talk about creature design?
Sure.
Well, let's see. Let's start with the alien skeleton. I don't know. I apologize for whatever their real name is, but the alien skeleton things that pop out of the fire at the beginning. They're like skeleton bodies, but they got like this like alien head with the big bulbous eyes. And
They have like pink flesh all over them.
Yeah, they did have like the pink flesh, I guess. And then they have
looked like old timey, like what people thought Martians would look like or something.
Well, yeah. They got, and then I think they have like little devil horns too. But and they have like, what do they have, like swords
Martian
or spears
demons.
or something? But
yeah,
that was fun. The Golden Minotaur. In distance shots, like I said, I guess it was Peter Mayhew in a suit.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of it is a stop animated. But it's a giant bronze. I keep saying golden. It's bronze. It's a giant bronze bull statue, Minotaur statue. It's pretty cool. Oh, what else do we have? The bee. It looks like a little honeybee, but then it looks more like a wasp when
Well, he said it was one of the most deadly bees on the planet. One sting would kill a man.
Yeah. Well, the live action bee was just an actual honeybee. But yeah, it grows into like this wasp looking thing. But it looks fine. We have the walrus. It's a giant walrus.
Yeah.
Looks like a giant walrus. The roar kind of got on my nerves. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of
It was a
obnoxious.
war. It was normal.
The troglodyte.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like his look. He's like a Neanderthal. Did he have one eye or two eyes?
With 2 eyes.
He was like a Neanderthal, but he had
I
like a
think he had 2
unicorn
eyes.
horn thing, and he had his club, and
He was like a descendant of human.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a human
he's like a caveman thing.
caveman.
But he was nice. The baboon.
The baboon.
It's a baboon. Well, it's not a baboon. It's all. He's no real baboons. It's all.
I think that would be highly
figure.
illegal. To have a real baboon.
I don't know. In the 70s, I don't know. if
No,
anybody
a
would've
lot of
cared.
things.
but he is all stop molded. He's a clay figure the whole time. And then the saber-toothed tiger at the end, which is again a saber-toothed tiger, got her like green reptile eyes, I think,
Yeah.
and a big tiger looking thing. I think all the creatures look good. Getting into effects, I think Harryhausen's stop motion is still very good. I think it works really well. Some of the fighting, like the sword fighting with the alien skeletons at the beginning, was a little wonky and not quite synced up. Some of the times when the humans are trying to interact with stop motion figures, you can tell
It's a little iffy.
it's a little clunky. But I thought his stop motion was still very fluid.
Oh yeah.
Really good work. And then some of the suitmation, because they did have some of the suitmation, was where it was appropriate and worked well. The prosthetic that they put on her legs, Zenobia's leg, looked good for the webbed foot.
They didn't show it much.
Yeah, they
either.
didn't show it a whole lot. The fight at the end was good. I thought again, they did a lot of filming on location. Like you can tell in the wide shots and the wide shots, they're on location filming these scenes. But for some reason, they decided for the close-ups, maybe it was a timing issue. They didn't have permits to film long enough to get all the close-up shots on location. So they just shot the wide shots and then shot some shots for them to green screen later. But for whatever reason, the close-up shot, all the close-up shots are done on green screen. And it's bad green screen. I mean, real bad green screen.
Yeah.
It just looks way off. At times they're literally just kind of outlined in paint in green. It's really bad. And, you know, the other two movies looked really good, especially that first movie. But the second movie too, like there wasn't really any extended effect sequence where you were like, "Ew, that looks bad." But this movie has a lot of really bad green screen, which is unfortunate, and it makes it easily the worst looking movie. Again, when they're not on the green screen, the movie looks fine.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of bad green screen, and you're like, "Ugh, that looks rough." Yeah, so that was unfortunate. That was unfortunate. And then you know,
the soundtrack was all right.
The score was solid.
It was a Sinbad.
It was
score.
a fantasy adventure score. I don't think any of them were as good as Bernard Herrmann's first movie score. That was actually like a really quality score. The other two have been functional, and that's what I would say this one is functional. But it didn't distract me or anything. No. So, yeah. But anyway, you want to do some final thoughts?
Sure.
Go for it.
Well, like we said, the soundtrack was all right. The acting, for the most part, was good enough to keep you entertained in this movie. And, you know, the effects were hit and miss at best. All the claymation was good, but everything else was iffy.
Yeah. Everything out. The green screen.
Yeah.
And the green screen was just bad.
Like I said, the claymation, that's always the way Harryhausen.
He still knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I thought this was a pretty good movie. You know, not John Wayne.
Patrick Wayne.
John Wayne.
I wish it was starring John Wayne.
Yeah, he would probably make this movie a lot better.
John Wayne is Sinbad. I just don't think they could have ever in a million years convinced somebody that John Wayne was Middle Eastern. Because he's like, you know, the reddest of red-blooded Americans.
Yeah. And, you know, Patrick Wayne was by far the weakest link.
Yeah.
The troglodyte was more entertaining.
Yeah, he was. He had more personality. The baboon had more personality.
The golden minotaur
had
more personality.
The minotaur, a literal statue, had more personality.
But, you know, with everybody else, you know, they trudged along pretty well.
Yeah.
I think, and you know, all in all, I think I give this movie an A.
An A?
An A.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, listen, I like this movie. I thought, you know, Harryhausen would have made his mentor, Willis O'Brien, proud with the way he stop animated this ape, this baboon. It was a really well animated ape. Of course, Willis O'Brien did King Kong back in the day. But yeah, I mean, again, Ray Harryhausen is still really good in terms of the stop motion stuff. Again, I like the supporting cast of this movie. As we talked about, Patrick Wayne's not very good, but the supporting cast is really solid. I think Zenobia is a really solid villain. I think she's better than the villain we had last time. Maybe not as good as the first guy, but she was good. I like the creatures. I like the Minotaur that helped the bad guys. I like the troglodyte that helped the good guys. I think like his creatures had a lot of personality, as we talked about. I think the movie's paced better than the movie last week, even though it's longer. It is a little too long. Probably could cut 10, 15 minutes out of it and still be.
But they recording there and on every movie.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, I think it's a fun movie. I'm not going to be as kind as you are. I think it's like a B-, because the green screen is bad and it is distracting. And that was my biggest hang up, because the other movies were filmed, you know, a lot on location. Even in the close-up shots, a lot on location or on sets. And then when they did do some kind of green screen or a composite shot, it usually looked pretty good. there's just a lot of green screen in this movie, and it's just not good at all. Especially when you compare it to, say, Star Wars, that came out literally the same day as this did. And of course, Star Wars had like triple the budget, but this movie didn't have a bad budget though. I mean, 3 to 3.5 million, which is like triple the budget of the other two Sinbad movies. And for it to look worse was disappointing. And like I said, this is the weakest Sinbad actor that we've had.
You know what they say, money, sometimes more money doesn't equal better movie.
That is very true. But yeah, no, I still think it's a solid movie. I think it's better than the one we had last week. If I were ranking Sinbad movies, 1, 3, 2, would you agree? Or would you put this one over the first one?
No, I wouldn't put this one over the first one.
So you'd say 1, 3, 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a fair ranking of the Sinbad trilogy. But yeah, but I'm glad that we did Sinbad. You know, it's a little outside of our normal wheelhouse. I mean, we do, you know, Ray Harry, we've done a lot of, I think we've covered just about all of Ray Harryhausen's filmography. I'll have to look, but probably pretty close. We've done there might be a couple dinosaur movies he's done that we haven't done, but you know, a little outside of our normal wheelhouse, this fantasy adventure type stuff, but I'm glad that we took some time out of our schedule to do it. And I think we had a lot of fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Better than some of the other movies we have and we'll watch.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of those cheap 50 movies coming up.
Yeah. I'll talk about our schedule coming up. But first, a couple of news things I want to talk about. First, the Troll 2 soundtrack is on Spotify if you want to listen to it. I haven't. I'll just wait for the movie that we're going to review. But the big thing is, in Godzilla news, there has been announced a new anime from Toho Animation.
Ooh.
That's about... Godzilla related. It's about a boy who has Godzilla powers, and he can like, I don't know, like transform into like parts of his body into like Godzilla parts or something. I don't know. It's pretty vague so far, but that is coming.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be traditional 2D animated, or at least part of it is. So cross our fingers. Maybe it'll be the best Godzilla anime so far. Would not be a high hurdle at all. But yeah. Also, this past week, Gamera turned 60.
Ooh.
So happy birthday, Gamera. We love you. We should have done something for Gamera's birthday. The English cut of the original Gamera or something. Maybe next year for Gamera's birthday.
Maybe.
But yeah, and then as Andrew alluded to, I started filling out our schedule for next year. For the remainder of this year, we've got next week will be Ultraman Arc the movie. Then we'll do the season 2 recap of Kaiju number 8, and then we have Troll 2 and Anaconda to finish out the year. And then I've started filling out the schedule next year. I think our first episode will actually be the recap for Ultraman Omega, which we've got to catch up on.
Yeah.
And then I filled it in with a lot of 50s B movies. We're going to do the Blob franchise trilogy. If you want there's actually a sequel to the original Blob, if you knew it or not. We'll do those two and the remake of the Blob. And then, a lot of 50s B movies, a couple of crocodile movies, Thai crocodile movie from the 70s, and then Andrew's a Chinese Croczilla movie.
Yes.
Will be in there. And then in the summer for Jaws, I've got Jaws, and then some other animal monster movies like Grizzly 1 and 2.
Oh boy.
And Grizzly 2 is just a recently discovered film that was lost. Razorback. I even ordered the book to read about that Razorback is based off of. I had to dig for that. I finally found one acceptable condition book on Amazon that I could order. And then the recap, I went ahead and put the recap for Lake Monarch season 2 in May as well, because that's projected when it's supposed to wrap up. So 10 episodes. So we'll do that. And that's some preliminary scheduling for next year.
All right.
But other than that, I think that is that about all we got from this
That's
weekend?
about everything,
All
I
right.
think.
Well, don't forget next week is Ultraman Arc the movie. And always remember that you can contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
And you can find our website at www.stompthisway.wordpress.com.
That's right. I just worked on updating that today. And of course, you can always find us on Facebook at Stomp This Way. So check us out there. But anyway, next week, Ultraman Arc. And then make sure you catch up on Kaiju number 8 for us to hear our review on that.
We need to catch up on that, too.
I know. It won't take us too long. A couple of weeks, and then Troll 2 on Netflix, and then Anaconda in theaters. But as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And we will see you next time.